Shalom Uvracha. B'ezrat Hashem, tonight we're going to be learning about another mitzvah of a Pesach, which in time of Bet HaMikdash were from Torah. Today, since we don't have Korban Pesach, so this mitzvah, according to the majority of the poskim, is from Chachamim, the Rabbanan. So this mitzvah called Maror, eating bitter herbs. Now, what is good for Maror? Over here we have one of the samples of Maror. It's a first thing that Maran in Shulchan Aruch brings, and he calls it chazeret or chasa in Hebrew, and in English it's called romaine lettuce. So we have one here. You see it looks like this. Now halacha is that you perform mitzvah either with leaves of chasa, this part, or either with a stem. This is what called stem. Both of them, you're performing the mitzvah. And really, when you eat it, you won't feel the bitterness right away. In the beginning, you will feel just sweetish taste. And then, while chewing it more and more, you will see how bitter taste will come out. And Midrash in Yerushalmi, Talmud Yerushalmi says, why it's so. In the beginning, it's sweet. Then later, it becomes bitter and bitter, because that's how Egyptians they started to enslave Am Yisrael, to put them in slavery. In the beginning, they started with a sweet tongue, we'll pay you for this, come and work, we'll give you bonuses, and etc. And once they got to work, they started to suppress them in the slavery, and little by little, they got them to be slaves without any payment. The simple payment was just for simple food. And therefore, to commemorate that, on each Pesach, we eat those herbs. Now, second in the line, Maran brings olshin. Olshin is, in English, it's endives, Holland endives. You could find them in the store. Tonight, we're going to be learning how much you shall eat in order to perform mitzvah of Kezait of this Maror. Now, if you saw my previous video, we spoke about the Kezait of matzah. Real Kezait of matzah. I made this video in English and in Hebrew, and in the Hebrew version I show actual zayit, the biggest olive that we have, and they do a test. We do the test with the biggest olive, how much water could be squeezed into a size of olive, volume of the water, right? And therefore we take this cup, which volume of it is 1 ounce. It says in a package, but really we measured it and it's not 1 ounce. We'll now weight this cup over here, and you will see how much the cup weighs, and again we're going to see how much water it could put inside. You see, as you see here, it's a 0 grams. This very sensitive scale, if I'm going to just breathe on it, you see it would change. So we would put the cup, and we would see this cup shows 3.1. It's interesting. Initially it showed me 2.9 though. 3.0. Okay, 3 grams. This cup is 3 grams of plastic. So now we're going to put the water inside. Give me the water. And we'll see where the 28 grams stops. We'll measure now. See how much is that? 30 grams minus 3. Okay, 31 grams minus, so 3 is going to be 28.6. So that's what exactly a measurement of Kezait, according to poskim, that they say it's 28 cubic centimeters. 28 cubic centimeters of water equals exactly measurement of Kezait. So you remember the size, it's still here. Now, in order to remember that, we could put a mark. I have a marker there with the pens, the marker. Yeah, the pens over there. So we could do the mark here, so we remember exactly where the water finishes. Marker in the box there. Okay, on top over here we have a marker. Okay, bring it. Thank you. So we'll put the sign so we don't forget where the water finishes. From one side and from another side, so we know exactly. Okay, now we're going to spill the water, okay, and we're going to squeeze as much as possible of this romaine lettuce to see how much you should eat that night. For that, we brought a knife and we're going to chop it in small pieces to eliminate any air pockets. So this way, we're going to have exact measurement of maror, of Kezait of Maror. Since maror, it's not dry food, it's has a moist and juice, so we'll have to add 1/3 up to the size of this maror, meaning 1/3 of 28, it's another 9 grams. We have to 9 cubic centimeters we have to add to it. So in order to have approximate kezait. This is because the 1/3 of it is going to be for the moisture that it has. So this way we know exactly the right product, how much going to fill it. So if we fill out this cup, actually, because it's 38 cubic centimeters inside of this cup, if we fill out and we see how much maror you should eat, you will see that by weight. Let's see. Let's squeeze it in. Now we will take another stem. So I'll explain you why I'm taking the stems also. Since those greens, they have some insects that infested sometimes. And many times the insects, they camouflage. That's why it's better to take only stems, not the leaves, and wash them well and check them, because it's easier to check. And it's known the prohibition, the great prohibition to eat insects in Torah. And the insect that goes in the water, whoever eats the full insect, meaning the complete one, he transgresses the law of Torah, and therefore, in time of Bet HaMikdash, if he did it b'mezid, meaning purposely, with the warning of the bedin, with the warning of the edim, with the warning of the witnesses, and witnesses would say to him not to eat the insect, and it says they would say to him, you would get lashes for this. And if he says, let them beat me up, bedin, I don't care, and anyway he ate this insect, then he would get 5 times 39 lashes, meaning it's 100. How much is 195? 195 lashes it will get for eating one insect that in the water. If this insect crawling on the ground, 6 times 39 lashes. If it's flying insect, which in this case they have a lot of flying insects. If we find, maybe we'll show you. So in this case, the person would get 7 times 39 lashes. So therefore, the prohibition of insect is very great prohibition. The easy way to check for insects is hold it towards bright light, but those leaves are so green that's very hard to differentiate because since they camouflage. So if we find, I'll show you one, and you would see that there are insects from inside or outside. So therefore, preferably those leaves we don't eat. We just eat the stem. If the stem is cracked, you have to open the stem to see if inside of the stem something there like this on the light. Why on the light? Because even though they camouflage, what happens? The light reflects the shadow of those insects. So this way you could see. So now you see this cup is full over the limits, right? It's approximately 1 full stem this size and a 1/2 stem of that. So we'll see how many grams of maror you should eat. Now the scales, they go on 0, you see. Just remember the cup is itself 3 grams. So we just put it on carefully. So it shows us 27.1. So because we overload it, we put it too much there, and it has moist. So we add 1/3. You remember? So originally originally we have to eat around 20 grams of this, which 1.5 stems is enough to perform the mitzvah of maror on Pesach, because it has a moist. Okay, we overloaded this again. So if we go exactly with the line that we said, 27 cubic centimeters, you would see here, I'm going to take away some pieces over here. Okay, again, you see is aligned with the line. You see that? Okay, and we're going to weight it 0, right? So it shows 18, which is 15 or 14 or 16 or 15 grams of maror when we take out this. So that's what you have to eat on Pesach in order to perform mitzvah. So any measurements that we spoke about, it's a minimum how much you have to eat. A maximum you could eat as much as possible if you would like, and this amount has to be eaten within 4 minutes in order to perform mitzvah. Amen. Here, you don't have to lie on the left side in order to eat it, but korech, the second time when we do the sandwich, like Hillel Zaken used to wrap the matzah with the maror and korban pesach together, this one you have to eat leaning on the left side. Amen. Thank you.